welcome. I'm Oksana Bonita. This is Midwest Crime Corner. Let's get into it. Today we will be looking into the concerning rise of bullying amongst young children in Indiana. This is a sensitive topic, and with the censorship here on YouTube, I will have to censor my words, and I'm sure you'll be able to infer what I mean. Just this month, on May the 5th, in Greenfield, Indiana, a 10-year-old boy took his life because of relentless bullying at school to the point of harassment. Sammy was bullied relentlessly for a couple of years at school. He was beat up several times. On one occasion, his glasses were even taken from him and they were broken. This sweet, caring little boy was made to feel so horrible by his classmates that he felt that the only way to escape the horrible, relentless children that he had to go to school with was to unalive himself at just the age of 10. According to a local news article, Sam, who had just turned 10 on February the 21st, was one of many Hoosier children who face bullying from peers. Indiana has actually had a high S rate since 1999, higher than the national average. S is the second leading cause for death for Hoosier teens and for kids. Let that sink in. For the national average, S is the third leading cause of death for teens and kids, with accidents and homicides being the first two leading causes nationally for deaths for kids and teenagers. Since 2020, there has been an increase in Indiana of bullying incidents. On top of that, the S rate has gone up, but that isn't solely due to bullying. Adverse childhoods lead to children experiencing depression and anxiety at earlier ages. Also, with the amount of information that children are exposed to today, it's no wonder that the depression and anxiety rates are going up. And something has to be said for the home environments as well. There has been a lot of child neglect in Indiana in the last 10 years, and in the last five, there's been an uptick in it, specifically, with just neglect and ABUSE. And DCS doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot to help these kids. There's been also an uptick in child deaths and multiple runaway cases. And I know this doesn't apply to all kids, all situations. I know with some kids it is hard to get their behaviors under control. And some kids just organically deal with mental health issues, without it being an environment or a family issue. I do have to wonder why there is such an uptick in bullying. To me, I have to assume that most of it is coming from an environment issue of some sort. Most of the time, bullying is a learned behavior. Whether or not it's learned at home, it's still learned behavior. We've been through a lot in the last 4 years since the pandemic. And I think it shows, and not in a good way. People are distracted more than ever, at home and on the road. It seems like constantly throughout their lives, people just seem really distracted. We've had more vehicle accidents since the pandemic due to people not paying attention. We've also had a significant uptick in road rage incidents here in Indiana, specifically in and around Indy. Just a week or two ago on I 65 near Greenwood, a deaf man was traveling on I 65, and during a road rage incident, he was shot and killed. If you saw my video on John Dillinger, you know that my brother is a police officer and he works in central Indiana. Just last year, he was on 465 and he was in his police car, and somebody shot up his car while he was driving. They shot through the radiator and they shot through his windshield. Probably because he's a cop. That's it's absolutely ridiculous. You can't even stop safely at a stoplight anymore. On Indy's south side last year near Greenwood, on Southport Road and 31, there was a car stopped at a stoplight, another car pulled up, and they shot up that other car. Every year it seems to get worse and worse. I see how angry a lot of adults are on the road towards each other and even just shopping at the grocery store. It's it's alarming, it's unsettling, it's uncomfortable. I don't understand where all this anger and aggression is coming from. And I feel like it's coming from people who probably weren't really too angry or aggressive before. And it's just all these feelings are coming out of people for some reason. I don't know if it's just the stress of everyday life and it's just the mounting pressure of it all. It's just starting to get to people. If it was being locked up, during the pandemic, I don't know. Maybe it's too much TV, reality TV, exposure to all kinds of stuff on the internet. People are acting different. I feel like people are acting more like how you see people acting ridiculous online. It's starting to overflow into the real world, and that's becoming a big problem. If the adults are acting like this, it's no wonder the kids are feeling it and that they're acting out. And if a kid has parents that are going on tirades all the time against people online or even in real life, how is that kid going to react and respond? How are they going to treat other kids around them? They're either going to start acting like that or they're going to push really far away from that and they're going to not act like that. That child may look up to that parent and they may want to emulate that behavior because they think it's cool or they think it will help them bond or they'll be closer. Whatever the kid thinks, they may emulate it for whatever reason. Or the kid could just have parents that are absent because they have to work a lot, or maybe they're absent because they're neglectful. Whatever the case may be, the kid is lashing out because of that. It's very likely a combination of multiple things. But one thing is for certain, a lot of this starts at home by implementing as best as we can morals and ethics into our children. Also by making consequences for our children. If your kid's bullying another kid, you need to discipline them. I know it's hard to know everything that your kid is doing, so you may not know if they are doing that or not, but if you do know, then you got to implement consequences. Here in Indiana in 2023, a law was implemented that requires schools to notify parents within 5 days if their kid is being bullied or if their kid is a bully. So, in theory, if schools do their due diligence and they do what they are supposed to do and notify the parents accordingly, then the rest is on the parents to deal with the consequences. If the school isn't listening to you, join the PTA if you're able to, or show up at school board meetings, ask for appointments to see the principal, the vice principal, any school administrators, teachers, whatever you have to do. Don't take no for an answer because if the school isn't stepping up, that's beyond ridiculous and they need to. Don't stop fighting for your child. And with our kids, we need to talk to them more. We need to know what they're doing, what they're feeling, what they're going through on a daily basis. And we need to respond to them in a way that they need to be responded to. If a child doesn't feel like they have a safe adult to confide in, they're more likely to slip through the cracks and either become a bully or have depression, and S can happen. Whether you're concerned about your child's mental health or if they are possibly a bully, approach them with kindness and compassion. Don't be angry at them, no matter how upset you are. Tread the waters lightly, talk to them as best as you can. I know it can be hard. If you can't do it, then if you know that they have an adult in their life that they are comfortable with talking to, that you feel comfortable with them talking to as well, have them get together and have conversations that they need to have. If a child doesn't have an adult that they can trust, then they aren't going to know how to navigate these big feelings that they're having and whatever it is that they may be going through. Think about how hard it can be for an adult to articulate their own feelings. And now think about how hard that could be for an 8, 9, 10-year old kid. That's a lot. I have dealt with S in my own family, and I can assure you that no matter what your age is, whatever you're going through, your life is more important than that moment and that feeling that you're having, even if it's a reoccurring feeling. You are more important and your life is more important than something so final. There are people out here that will help you. There are people out here that would listen to you. They would rather help you than show up to your funeral and wish that you had talked to them after the fact. I can assure you that you are not alone, even if it feels like it. Whether it's bullying, your environment, mental health struggles, family struggles, health issues, whatever it is that has you feeling that way, you can make it past that feeling. I will list some resources down below for anybody that needs them. Tomorrow, May 15th, little Sammy will be laid to rest. In his obituary, it is stated that Sammy was a fourth grader. He was tremendously loving. He knew no stranger. He had the biggest smile. Sammy loved the outdoors and he loved to fish. Like most kids his age, he liked video games and he enjoyed playing soccer. Sammy was loved by all and he had big plans for the future. What a bright young man his family, friends, and the world lost due to others' cruelty. My heart breaks for his family, and my heart breaks for every kid and teen that feels that this is their only option. If you wish to donate to an anti bullying organization, Sammy's family in his obituary is asking for people to donate to Stomp Out Bullying at stompoutbullying.org, and I'll provide the link down below as well. Let's talk to our kids and be the kind of person that our kids can talk to and look up to, that any kid can talk to and look up to. That is going to wrap it up for today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you in the next one.